You were told your 20s would be the best years of your life. Freedom, growth, discovery. But instead, you feel lost. Not completely broken, not completely fine. Just disconnected. Like you're living a life that doesn't fully belong to you. And the worst part? You can't even explain why. You wake up, scroll, distract yourself, make plans, cancel them, try again. But something feels off. You see other people moving forward, careers, relationships, direction, and you wonder, why am I the only one who doesn't know what I'm doing? But here's the truth, no one tells you. You don't feel lost because you're behind. You feel lost because you were never taught who you are. Your entire life, you were trained to follow a script. Go to school, get good grades, be liked, don't cause problems, choose a safe path. No one asked you what you actually wanted. They asked what made sense. So you learned to adapt, to perform, to become someone acceptable, and slowly, without realizing it, you built an identity based on expectations, not truth. This is what psychologists call the persona, the version of you that was shaped by parents, society, and approval. The version that knows how to behave, but not how to be. And in your 20s, something starts to break. Because for the first time, you're not being told what to do anymore. There's no clear path, no structure, no guaranteed next step. Just you and your choices. And that's when the confusion begins. Because when the noise disappears, you realize you don't actually know yourself. What you like, what you believe, what you want your life to look like. So you try things. You switch paths, you overthink everything, not because you're unstable, but because your real self is trying to emerge. This is the part most people misunderstand. Feeling lost in your 20s is not a failure. It's the beginning of awareness. It's the moment where the life you were given stops feeling real, and the life you're meant to create hasn't formed yet. You're in between identities, and that space that feels uncomfortable because your old self was predictable. It had rules, it had approval. But your new self, it's uncertain, it questions everything. It doesn't want to settle for a life that feels fake. So you feel stuck, not because you can't move forward, but because you refuse to move in the wrong direction. And that's not weakness, that's the beginning of something real. But here's where most people go wrong. They try to escape this feeling, they distract themselves, they rush decisions, they chase validation, anything to avoid sitting with the discomfort of not knowing. But the truth is, this phase cannot be skipped, because clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from becoming more honest. Honest about what you don't want. Honest about what drains you. Honest about the life you've been pretending to enjoy. Because every time you ignore that voice, you go further away from yourself. So what do you actually do? You stop trying to figure out your entire life. And instead, you start paying attention to what excites you, to what feels heavy, to what you keep avoiding. You experiment, you fail, you change directions, not randomly, but consciously, and slowly, something shifts. You stop chasing the right path and start creating your own, not based on approval, but on alignment. And one day, you won't feel lost anymore. Not because you found all the answers, but because you stopped asking the wrong questions. You were never meant to have it all figured out in your 20s. You were meant to break the script, to question everything, to feel uncertain, to rebuild from scratch. Because the people who feel the most lost are usually the ones who are closest to finding something real.